again, this for me is another really important message to get across, is that as horrible as acne is, it's also a blessing, because what it's doing, it's making you aware that there's something internally that's not right. And if you don't put it right, especially sooner rather than later, nothing's going to happen for 5, 10 years, but maybe 20, 30, 40 years down the line, if you keep living the same lifestyle, if you keep really making the same lifestyle mistakes, it won't be acne, but it'll be something that could potentially kill you.
In today's episode, I'm joined by Leigh Brandon, a functional medicine practitioner and author with over 2 decades of experience in the health and fitness industry. From 2001 to 2007, he honed his expertise at the CHEK Institute, mastering integrative movement science, nutrition, and holistic lifestyle coaching. He's known for his success in helping individuals overcome various challenges, including sports injuries, pain syndromes, skin conditions, gut problems, and severe acne. Join us as we explore Leigh's holistic approach to health and focus on his strategies for treating adult acne. Hi, Leigh. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Anesha. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Can you start by telling us your journey in the health and fitness industry and what initially inspired you to pursue this career?
So, for me, my journey really into kind of health and wellness and fitness started from a very young age. I've always been into sport, always been sport mad, always been kind of a healthy kind of person, even though I was born with a potentially deadly condition. But fortunately, I was operated on at 6 weeks old, so I survived. But yeah, I was really sporty at school. So I played every sport that we play over here in the UK. Soccer and cricket and tennis and athletics. I played basketball. And then once I left school, you get busy being an adult and working, those kind of things. I still played cricket and soccer for a while. But then I stopped when I was 23. As you get into those kind of ages, things like, going to clubs and meeting girls and things like that kind of take over. And around the same time, or just before that, actually, I started working out very regularly in a gym. And I kind of got into the bodybuilding kind of lifestyle kind of thing. And that really was my start, if you like. So I started doing it as a hobby, if you like. But I was really, I don't like to use the word obsessed, because obsessed is like a negative word, but I was so passionate about learning about exercise, about nutrition, and every spare second of the day that I had, I would be reading about exercise, about nutrition. And I was one day having dinner in a health club with a couple of guys. They were personal trainers. So we're talking early to mid 1990s. I'd never even knew what a personal trainer was, never even heard of it before I met these two guys. And we're having dinner one night. And one of them said to me, "How do you know all this stuff?" They both went to Loughborough University, which is the top sports science university in England. They both got first class degrees in sports science. And they said, "How do you know this stuff? Like, you're talking to us like you were in our class. Like, how do you know all this?" And I just said, "Well, if I'm going to do something, I do it properly, or I don't do it at all." And I just said to him, "Look, I do a lot of reading." And he said, "Why don't you do what we do?" And that was my light bulb moment. So, in my mid-20s, I decided to have a career change. And I originally studied with the American College of Sports Medicine, studied to become a personal trainer. So my career started in 96. But from there, it just blew up into so many different directions, because I am someone that loves to learn. Personal training, I love doing it, but you get to a point where you realize there's so much more to know. And there's, you come across clients. Whilst most of my clients did really well, there was still maybe 30% that I just didn't know. I didn't know how to help them. So that just opened up a whole new world for me. And it was in the year 2000, I went to a lecture at Loughborough University. Funnily enough, it was as a fitness convention. And there was a guy there from California called Paul Chek, the founder of the CHEK Institute. And he was talking about how food affects your hormones, how hormones affect your skin, how food intolerances can cause skin conditions. Now, at the time, I'd had acne for about 17 or 18 years. And my doctor kept telling me there's no such thing or no such link between diet and acne. He told me that on multiple occasions because I kept asking, my mum kept asking when I was a teenager. And he said, no, there's absolutely no link. So anyway, this guy who I'd been reading his articles for years and really loved to read his articles, and I'd put a lot of his stuff into practice and it was working, was telling me that there's a link between food and your skin. So when I came back from the conference, I went and visited this Chinese guy that he ran loads of tests on me. And he said, first thing I'm going to tell you, you've got to stop taking those antibiotics that you've been taking for 18 years because they're not doing your health or your skin any good. And I thought, wow, if I stop taking antibiotics, my skin's just going to get worse. But he said, you've got a fungal infection, you've got a candida overgrowth. And he pulled up this piece of paper with a long list. He said, you're intolerant to all these foods. So then he said, here's another list of all the foods that you can eat, and I want you to go on an antifungal protocol. So I changed my diet, followed this antifungal protocol, and within 2 weeks, the acne that I'd had for 18 years cleared up. So straight away you think, wow, there's so much more to know. Because then I wanted to know what this Chinese guy knew. Right? So anyway, the next year, Paul CHEK started teaching his courses in the UK. So I started studying with him in 2001, and I finished my training with him in 2007. The guy has probably been the most influential person in health and fitness in the world in the last 40 years. Okay. If you know what a Swiss ball is, it's because of him. If you know what functional training is, it's because of him. If you know what a cable machine is in the gym, it's because of him. And I could go on and on. So I did their training. So that was, again, predominantly around what we call integrative movement science. So it's very specific, kind of high-end exercise type training. They also teach holistic lifestyle coaching, which is very much dietary and lifestyle, and also goes into things like emotions and thoughts and spirituality. And then when I finished that training, whilst I was helping a lot of people that a lot of medical doctors couldn't help, I still felt I've still got more to learn. So then I went off and studied strength and conditioning. I studied functional medicine. I studied sports massage therapy, and I studied other forms of manual therapies. And I've also studied a number of different types of energy medicine as well. So there's not that much I haven't studied, really. That might have been quicker to go that route. But what I've found in most recent years, what I've tended to do is really try and focus on helping people that have been through the same issues that I've had. So I've had, again, I'm very sporty. I've had a lot of sports injuries, shoulder injuries, elbow injuries, lower back injuries, knee injuries. So I really enjoy helping people with those. And again, my training with the CHEK Institute helps massively with those. As I said, I had acne. I also had eczema for a short period of time. So I really enjoy helping people with skin issues. But the other thing, and again, this is probably due to the medication that I was taking, the antibiotics, I didn't realize, and again, this might be too much information for some people, but for the first 30 years of my life, I didn't know that I was constipated. Because I did have a bowel movement every day, I thought I wasn't constipated. But it took a long time to take a bowel movement, and it was very difficult to pass, and it was smelly, and it was dry. And that's a sign that you're not healthy, right? Your stools give you an insight into what's going on in your body. So I help people with gut issues as well. So, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, all that kind of stuff.
Hey guys, I would like to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will have access to an incredible selection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app available on iOS and Android today.